The crystalline spires of the harmonious assembly central station sparkled like frozen starlight against the void of space. High Administrator Lyra stood at her observation post, her iridescent scales shifting from azure to violet as she studied the latest reports. The Assembly had maintained peace in this sector for over 3 centuries, their advanced technology and diplomatic prowess ensuring stability among dozens of species. Today that peace was about to be tested. High Administrator's second monitor Rax burst into the chamber, his auxiliary breathing gills flaring with agitation. "We've detected an unknown vessel entering the outer defense grid. It's unlike anything in our database." Lyra's inner eyelids flickered as she activated the main display. The vessel that appeared before her was a stark contrast to the elegant designs of assembly ships. Dark metal plates covered its hull like scales of some ancient predator, scoring and blast marks telling tales of recent battles. Its shape spoke of purpose rather than beauty, a weapon forged in the depths of space. Analysis. Lyra's voice remained calm, though her scales betrayed her concern with ripples of deep blue. "The vessel's mass is approximately 3 times that of our largest defensive cruiser," Rax reported. "Energy readings suggest weapon systems far beyond our current understanding." He hesitated. "It's accelerating directly toward our central station." Captain Elena Drake stood on the bridge of the Retribution, her dark eyes fixed on the gleaming alien station. Behind her, holographic displays showed constant updates on shield status, weapon readiness, and crew positions. The bridge crew worked in practiced silence, every movement precise and purposeful. "Multiple vessels approaching," Lieutenant Park reported from his sensor station. "Elegant design, minimal weapons, more ceremonial than military." He paused, studying new data. "They're forming a defensive screen between us and the station." Elena allowed herself a small smile. The alien ships were beautiful, their hulls flowing like liquid metal in space, but beauty wouldn't stop the Retribution, not after they'd chased these pirates across 17 light-years of space. "Status update on our refugees," she ordered. Commander Marcus, her XO, brought up detailed scans of the ships docked at the alien station. "Energy signatures confirm what we suspected, Captain. Those civilian vessels are heavily modified warships. They've masked their weapons behind false hull plates, but we're detecting power fluctuations consistent with military-grade shield generators." "Show me the colony footage again." The main view screen filled with images that made several bridge crew members look away. "New Adelaide Colony, 48 hours ago buildings burned while pirates gunned down civilians in the streets. The attackers had been methodical, efficient, and completely ruthless." Elena's hands tightened on the command rail. "Send another message to the station. Append the colony footage this time." Minutes stretched into tense silence as they waited for a response. Finally, Lieutenant Park straightened at his console. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the station. They're requesting a face-to-face meeting." "Interesting." Elena studied the station's defensive screen. They could have simply denied everything, hidden behind their shields and diplomatic protocols. She turned to Marcus. "Your assessment?" "Either they're very confident in their defenses," Marcus said, "or they're genuinely interested in the truth. The station's design suggests a civilization built on cooperation rather than conflict. They might not be equipped to handle this kind of deception." Elena nodded. "Or they're buying time for the pirates to escape." She activated the ship-wide comm security team Alpha. "Prepare for diplomatic mission. Full combat loadout, concealed carry. Marines stand by for rapid response." The alien ships parted as a small shuttle departed the station, heading toward the Retribution. Elena watched its approach, noting its lack of weapons and minimal shielding. Either these aliens were incredibly naive or incredibly confident. "Captain," Marcus said quietly, "if this goes wrong, we'll be massively outnumbered." "True." Elena's expression hardened. "But they've never faced anything like us before. And after what those pirates did to New Adelaide." She left the thought unfinished. The shuttle docked with practiced grace, and soon the bridge received word that a delegation of 3 aliens had arrived. Elena took a moment to straighten her uniform before heading to the conference room. Whatever happened next would shape relations between humanity and this new civilization for generations to come. The conference room doors slid open to reveal 3 tall, elegant beings with iridescent scales and flowing robes. Their leader, distinguished by elaborate markings, stepped forward with fluid grace. "I am High Administrator Lyra of the Harmonious Assembly," she said, her words translated by a small device at her throat. "We have reviewed your evidence regarding our refugees." Her scales rippled with what might have been distress. "If what you say is true, we have been gravely deceived." "The evidence doesn't lie," Elena replied, activating a holographic display of the colony attack. "These refugees murdered thousands of innocent civilians. They specifically targeted residential areas, schools, hospitals. This wasn't war, it was slaughter." Lyra's scales shifted to a deep, troubled blue. "We pride ourselves on offering sanctuary to those in need. The thought that someone would exploit this." She straightened suddenly, scales flashing with determination. "Captain Drake, I propose cooperation. Your experience in combat combined with our knowledge of the station." The deck shuddered beneath their feet. Emergency lights flashed as alarms blared throughout the ship. "Bridge to Captain." Marcus's voice cracked over the comm. "The pirate ships are powering up weapons, they're firing on the station's defensive systems." Elena locked eyes with Lyra, seeing her own fury reflected in the alien's crystalline gaze. They had both been deceived, their principles used against them. Now it was time to show these pirates exactly why that had been a terrible mistake. "High Administrator," Elena said, already moving toward the door, "I believe this is the beginning of a very productive partnership.